Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Kaiso Talk for this evening. As always, we have some interesting discussions to take place, and may keep your dials locked in, don't move anywhere. So we welcome our viewers on GBN TV, also our friends on our Facebook page and the YouTube channel, and our listeners on K105 FM. It's a pleasure as always. So hey, we're talking the talk tonight. Val is with me. Val, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm great, Godfrey. Once again, nice to be here. Welcome to Grenada, welcome to Cairo, Piti Martinique, welcome to all those who are listening up the Windward Islands, everyone who is on GBN and the radio stations, welcome.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we were expected to be joined by the reigning extempo king of Trinidad, the man,
yes,
Black Sage.
Already Black Sage.
Yes, indeed. Folks, bear with us. Also, I need to apologize for the late start because we're having some little tech issues. Of course, it's one of the little disadvantages with having to do programs like these virtually. It's convenient, but sometimes, of course, these things do happen. But we do apologize for that, and hopefully Black Sage will be able to get on pretty soon. Val, you look at Black Sage want me to do an extempo on him. I don't understand what's going on with Black Sage. Or either somebody tell him I'm real good and he get afraid. He figure I might just do something.
I hope he's not writing an extempo because that is against the rule.
But of course he can be. Yeah. I think I know what happened to Black Sage. He no longer young, he going up in age. So if he Yeah.
This doesn't challenge.
I know. Yeah. But Val, how are things, man? Election is 2 weeks? 2 weeks since the new administration. How are things going in Trinidad?
Well, I would say things are settling into place. Mm-hmm. People are vacating their posts so that board members are resigning and so on, all those political appointees. Mm-hmm. The president is soon to probably announce new board members. So these things happen, and government ministers are finding their feet, right, finding their way. So that, of course, there are always those who would panic a bit. Right, after 10 years of one administration, you have a new one coming into being. You would doubt their capabilities and so on. But the dust after the election has been settled or is settling, and the country would find its way.
Yeah, I definitely. So, any of these new appointments affected the Calypso fraternity in any way in Trinidad?
Oh, well, right. I'm seeing Philip Maurice here.
Yes, I
so just... that, not as yet, right? Today I heard that our good friend and chairman of the NCC, mm-hmm. National Carnival Commission, Winston Gypsy Peters, has resigned formally.
Right.
A few days ago, he said he was not going to, but he tendered his resignation, and I'm sure it is accepted. So he has vacated his seat also.
Right. Well, it's the honorable thing to do. If you're a political appointee, don't wait for them to kick you out. You can.
Yeah, definitely. And that is one area you cannot extempo. Yeah.
Well, well, of course, you can't extempo yourself in there. You gotta go. Definitely. Well,
we see Mr. Murray. Yes.
Val, finally, the extempo king. Come on. I thought he was afraid of me, but he look as though somebody tell him I was extempo. So like he was trying to break out, you know what I mean? But he's here,
I think before we ask him to officially tell us who he may have to extempore his way in terms of the little tardiness.
Yeah, I think so.
I leave that to you.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think it's common courtesy that Black Sage extempore his reason for not being on the program on time. So Black Sage, your mic is still muted. Just open your mic. And you need to extempore your way into the program. We waiting on you, man.
Something on me?
Well, you're late, so you have to. You're late, so you have to extempore your way. Extempore the reason why you're late.
Extempore your tardiness. Yes.
Oh, did I hear that Gypsy resign?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had one for you, before. I don't know if you heard it, but I gave a reason why you was late.
We say extempore your tardiness, so let's go. That's a topic. Okay. That's your topic. Extempore your tardiness. Yes.
I do apologize, I have to state. You see, I joined the interview late. I must say in my tune, I am not too familiar with Zoom. So I tell you without a doubt, I had my granddaughter helping me out. All you must be saying, I'm very sure. All you're saying, Black Sage is a dinosaur. Well, I heard the news and it really sound fine. My daughter tell me Gypsy resign. Well, if what I heard is true, it is the honorable thing to do. But I have to say under no pretense, since when they have honor and Gypsy in the same sentence, he only resigned without a doubt. I feel his auntie Kamala who just kick him out.
Well, I mean, Val, I mean, we can't have no issues there. I think he made good. He made good.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure to have the man with us. Did we just lose him again?
No, you just take off his camera. Keep your camera on.
Yeah. Can you Black Sage, can you
keep your granddaughter closer?
Yeah, can you get her to put the phone landscape so we get a better image? If she can turn the phone landscape, we'll get a better image. Yeah.
Landscape or something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we could she could. Right, just turn the phone a bit, so we could. All right, that's it. Lovely. Yeah, man. But Black Sage, welcome to our studio. It's a real pleasure, and let me congratulate you on winning the 2025 Extempo competition in Trinidad. I mean, I must say, if I was there, you wouldn't have a chance. But nevertheless, congratulations, man.
There's a lot of blessings and a lot of luck went into that. Well, a little bit of my attitude, of course, but a lot of things happened that night that went in my favor.
Right.
Me and this boy changed numbers, which is pretty. I was singing number 2, and he had some big show to do, and he run and take my number 2 and give me his number 7.
Oh.
I had to take a deep breath. And then the biggest thing to Gypsy was horse. Gypsy voice was horse.
Yes.
That had to be a blessing from God, because when Gypsy come there with his guns blazing.
Definitely. But I looked at the entire show. It was good. It was really good. I looked at it and it was quite good. Quite good.
Yeah.
Indeed. So Black Sage, tell us about yourself before we get into all the discussion. Tell us who is Black Sage, you know. Let Grenada and all our viewers in the diaspora, because we live on Facebook, YouTube, TV, radio. So tell us who is Black Sage, and let's start the chat, man.
Well, I sing in Kaiso since secondary school. When you're in school, and we used to have school competitions and all that. I didn't believe we used to organize a competition in Polytechnic Sixth Form. Jack Warner. You know, we went to UE after, and we used to sing calypso in UE and all, because some good Kaisonian come out of UE, you know.
Really?
Hated the Watchman. He was in UE a little before me. You know, and then from there, the first calypso tent I ever got into was Spectacular Tent. And I got into that singing a song, you wouldn't believe again, that was the first time UNC win election. Basdeo Pandey was Prime Minister. And I sang a song called Bass.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down watching these election results and I get that song in about 15 minutes. And Frank Martino and Claude Martino, God bless Claude's soul, Frank is still a good man, picked me for the tent. And well, I went on from there. Next year I make semi-final as a reserve. And then in some way 1985, they started to revive Extempo. That time Gypsy was blazing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the first one to really beat Gypsy and Extempo on that Savannah stage. You know, and I'll never forget it. Well, this victory this year was much better because for 20 years I am with it. And I must get the most licks on the Extempo stage, you wouldn't believe. Because I get the most second in Extempo.
Okay. Interesting. But aside from the Extempo, the Kaiso, you know, have you been active in the Kaiso? I mean, I know you, when it comes to Extempo, you're the man. But the actual Kaiso, have you been very active with the calypsos and so?
If you're able, I want you to listen to my calypsos over the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
RG Stories, attributed John Agitation. Stone, which was last year. And this year, TIT. T-I-T, is anybody's song, but people feel TIT is something, and TIT means this is Trinbago.
Right.
I made final with them 3 songs for the past years. And the judges, they picked me for final, I don't know, because calypso competition is a kind of, as Valentino says, a kind of best village thing. You just have to present your song and bring one set of props on stage and thing. When I find the song should be a living entity, the song should live in itself and of itself. You know, but you see people bringing a such an irrelevant presentation on stage. And like the swingy judges, I don't bring no presentation.
Mm.
So I don't know if it's that it is, because I know my songs are good and I call the names for you. RG Stories, Stone, and TIT. Some of them might be on YouTube. Listen to them.
Right.
And then we'll see the kind of songs I just try to sing.
Yeah. I have a couple of the older ones, like All Fools Day, a couple others, but I haven't gotten recent ones. But yeah, and that's why I asked, because I didn't see you know, like recent ones. That's why I asked if you were active. But I have a couple of the older ones there.
He was in Kaiso Dynasty, which was formerly Kaiso House, for the past 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Black Sage, let me hold a second, Black Sage. You can you just move back a little bit? You are a little too close to your phone, so it's cutting your head in half. Right? Yeah. The people want. That's right. Lovely. So there we go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you were telling us about the tents and so that how you got in and all of that.
Well, as I said, I got in the tent with Martino singing bass. And then, when Spectacular went out of business, we had auditions. This year, everybody had to audition for the tent. And you had fellas like Valentino and Mudada, who are great calypsonians. And just be sorry for them boys and them. They never win no well-deserved monarch or the kind of $1 million that you hear pelleting out today for a monarch. But they are well-respected calypsonians and great calypsonians. They do the judging in the auditions now. For the new management, Mr. Ainsley said everybody should audition so we could put out a good show. And this year you will find that we went to the Radisson Hotel And I thought it was a good move because the belief is, you could get some of the hotel guests to come down and join the thing. We had some quite good audiences. In fact, for the extempo finals, the snow was sold out. In fact, the extempo preliminaries, the tent in Savannah and the cultural hub was again sold out. So extempo is a very much viable thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had some good audiences, but some of the tent audiences were not so good. But I always give thanks that the Calypso dynasty has accepted me. And we always have a very good cast, some young and old fellas like Chucky, Dwayne O'Connor's son, Karina Shea.
Right.
This year we had Kijai. We had some very great singers, doing service to the culture there. And from there we got a few picks to the Marsh Gras for Skinner Park. And from there we got some. I was picked for Skinner Park, not for the Marsh Gras.
Mm-hmm.
But the Kaiso dynasty is a sort of new beginning in Kaiso, where we want to package the art and sell it internationally. This year the theme was globalization and Calypso. You find the Tuco took the Calypso, a crew of us and that was an experience and a half. And I really had to pay a good credit to Marshall Montano. Marshall Montano sold out the Apollo Theater, that famous shrine of culture and music, 3 nights straight. And on the 4th night, I think he gave it to Tuco. And we carry a lovely contingent of their beautiful contingent. Marshall was there, they too, directing things and making his input.
Right.
And it was a fabulous show. I was proud and honored to be there. You find me, Gypsy, and Myron B, who was another extempo champion.
Yeah.
We did the show at the Apollo, and it was very good. So from there, I don't know how they're going with England because now we had to have visa to go there.
Yes.
We go across the ocean, we go across the Atlantic and go and sing. But I, for myself, I have been to India singing Calypso. I was one of the few Calypso I ever sing in India. And I went in there before Ricky Jai. One Calypso I sang there was Gavaskar.
Right. Okay. That's related as Gavaskar or your own Gavaskar?
Ghana, Costa Rica, Canada, all about Calypso has taken. People, I just do a school lecture or something, you want Calypsonian to come in school and lecture about the art form. I could come. I just play my instrument. A lot of Calypsonians don't play an instrument because today you could buy a song. And I have learned a lot in Calypso from doing the plays put on by Rolly Gibbon, which is sing the chorus 10-1. We bring it back 10-1 soon. I didn't do a wonderful, but I do Roaring 70s. In 10-1, I did melody. David Biro did Sparrow. I love to today I just sing the little dual melody that Sparrow used to have. And that assisted me a lot in use as a performing artist. You had to know how to use that stage. Chalky wasn't no big whiner dancer, but Chalky mastered that stage. Black Stallion, Crow, them boys are masters of the stage. Crow no big tall man. Crow is a mighty midget, but when he hit a stage, you're seeing a giant in the art form because he has mastered what we call in the thing stage craft. How to use the stage and how to connect with your audience. Them boys know Stallion no hit audience. Stallion hit Skinner Park. Or Crow hit Skinner Park. Them boys know that audience.
Right.
I know getting to learn that audience in the park over the past 3 years, being chosen for Skinner Park and so on. And I say next year, I want to go to Marsh Gras because I have a powerful song.
Yeah?
I just write my own song, but full credit to the fellas who just buy the song and think because the composer and the songwriter had to live. Christoph Grant, Larry Harewood and them boy, them had to live and them don't sing really. I know Christoph could sing, I know Larry could sing a little thing, but they don't sing, but they write. And that's where the connection come in because some people could sing and can't write. You can't vex with them for that because Sparrow. I live in Indigo right by Winsford, between God bless his soul, the late. He wrote for a lot of calypsonians. Mello never wrote all his songs. He wrote the majority of them. If you remember, you have a song called Ice, Ice.
Yes.
That's quite Pakistani. The same man who wrote the national anthem. You know? So, calypso, I always tell people, it is a viable product because, I mean, the whole vibe's changing now. Fellas like Blakey and Sparrow and them never work nowhere. But calypso, you know, Blakey will always tell you his recreation of courses. He like to play horses. They go, you know, go in the club and lime and gamble and but the life was calypso, you know.
Right.
When they sing into melody and they might go Guyana, they might show up the islands and so on. You know, but these days, fellas like Marshall, Hess, and these people, they could live off of calypso. Marshall Montana, I'm sure he's a multi-millionaire off of calypso and soca.
I know.
It's a viable form, but you have to work at it because it is a difficult art form. And calypso is a song that you don't sing it. Like when you go sing a little ballad, you have to perform a Kaiso.
Yes, indeed.
Sage, I want to jump in. I know that we could hear you, we could talk the whole evening. But one of the things, before you came on, I asked you if you have ever been to Grenada. You went to India and all kind of place, and you never reached Grenada yet. So I see you with your quattro in hand.
I would tell John used to go Grenada. I always want to go Grenada because I know Grenada, Valentino, maybe Carnival, Valentino used to go Grenada and take a little breeze out, a little cool down.
Right.
So Val, he has never performed in Grenada?
Right.
You know,
so
I mean, I think the Soca Monarch, that boy blacker than
from Grenada. Yes.
And you know what was one of the best things he said in Champs in concert in Savannah Day? He said, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to thank you all for accepting me with open arms. Look, when this boy, Mr. come and you win the motor car, the vehicle, when you're good with our soca in Trinidad, we accept you, you know, we love you, you know. Alison Hines is an honorary guest here. This boy from Barbados again, Rupi. Them boy,
Edwin and Rupi.
Soca generals here, man. Because we accept when you're good, we accept you. One of my favorite soca songs this year was by a fella called Fela G. I think he from Dominica. You know, I like that soca. You must know it, man. It's a very popular. It have a little rap so in the mid coming down the thing. Well, I now realize it's patois he was singing the. And when I was one of my favorite soca, and Asian brother who come and win the soca monarch down here, but we not going home till the morning come.
Yeah, Biggie Irish. Yeah.
We love him training because come here as Black Adam has shown, and he showed the love. In fact, he used to live here. He showed the love for the Trini people and the love for the culture. So, you know, I always say it's a viable thing. It's a great thing. You know, I want to advise everybody.
Stone, you have your quattro on your lap and so on, but sing Stone for us. Give Grenada, I mean, we don't normally do this, but give Grenada a taste of Stone so that they can hear a verse and chorus of Stone.
Stone, one of the greatest gifts nature gave mankind. Stone, we take it for granted, but it's so divine. Stone, serving us since the beginning of time. Check it out, you'll find. Oh, what a marvelous design. Stone, David killed Goliath with a stone. Jesus said, who is without sin cast the first stone. The 10 commandments were written on stone. To get water in the desert, Moses touched. And it is widely known, a man is not a man if he don't have stone. I want you to see how important a stone could be. Oh yeah. Ba-ba-ba-dam, ba-la-ba-dam. That was last classy melody.
Yeah, man.
Val, no. Val, we need to do something about Black Sage and this Never Come to Grenada.
Of course, yeah. definitely.
That song itself, plenty of people try to fight me down with that song.
Yeah.
Because must be about 50 years ago, a singer called Penman had.
Yes.
But me and a calypso named Kerr was talking, and I say, Kerr, I go take on that topic, you know. Hamidullah told me, he said, Sage, when I hear you singing Stone, I wanted to see where you going with that. And when them boys see where anytime you get Stone, play it.
But you all I said, you mentioned earlier you mentioned that you sang Gavaskar, right?
I didn't sing Gavaskar, we later sang it.
Right, yeah, I know, but you performed it.
In India. Yeah, you said
India.
You performed it in India.
Yeah, but you...
I did that. I did Om Shanti Om.
But no,
part of Om Shanti I did was when Shorty was talking Hindi. I sing that at all because me want to go there and sing no cuss word and me, you know.
But no, but I find that very interesting. You singing Gavaskar, and I honestly want to hear you. Serge, I really want to hear you sing a verse or two in Gavaskar for you because I don't believe you could pronounce them Indian names.
Let me see if I could remember it. A lovely day for cricket, blue skies and gentle breeze. The Indians are waiting now to play the West Indies. A signal from the umpire, the game's about to start. Players are taking the field, they all look very smart. Irapaldi Prasanna, Gigi Boy and Wadika, Krishnamurti and Vishnu Madkar. Them boys could well play cricket on any kind of wicket. It's so bad. We was in all kind of trouble. Pull a muscle. Clive Lloyd to get about 3 or out. We were in trouble without a doubt. But it was Gavaskar, the real master. Just like a ball, the front of Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't know Gavaskar. That was one of the latest finest. He won the Calypso Bugger with that. And I think he only get $20,000. When he was with that, now them boys working with $2 million and things. And there's always tell people I love Dwayne O'Connor and Chucky and Corinne and them. There's people who walk on stage. I shouldn't say poor, but ordinary people and walk off stage millionaires, you know. And there's the joy and power Calypso too. You know, Lady Gypsy say something in a song called The Political Cemetery Day. She says she's not putting Tanti Kamala in the political cemetery. Every common prime minister now. Because Kamala does give Calypsonian big money. And I think the US government will give Calypso $2 million, you know. And $1 million as prize money, you know.
But so, Sage, as you say that you were UNC counselor. You were a counselor one.
People's partnerships, which have collective responsibility.
Partnership, right. All right.
They were the bosses. You know, I was a people counselor. That was Winston Dukaran, who are always regarded as one of the great politicians in Trinidad and Tobago. A man you could know had honesty and integrity. You know, so I was quite proud to be a member of the COP. And I was also saying, I ran up in Diego Martin and Miss Nicole Dyer, the wife of Gary Griffith, who was also a COP, you know, executive, was the one who gave me that political life and allowed me to run for Bon Coco Alice Glen, where I kind of emerged victorious. So understand the thing from being inside. And I just tell people, you see this kind of racial political thinking, when I was counselor it had a flood in the Gomartin Pity Valley. Hurricane George come and fix that whole road for me afterwards. Rudal Munilal put up some of my people who get flooded out in apartments in Oropun and things. And Rudal Munilal again gave me personally 2 apartments to distribute to my burgesses who was with real hard times. Rudy Munilal, I went quite DB. And he entertained me in the office and things and saying, well, I was part of the partnership. So it was no big thing. And he helped me out, and not with no beat around the bush kind of thing, you know. Mr. Munila said, look, right, I go handle you. Next 2 weeks, he handled me. And I just never bad talking. I just called the Prime Minister Tanti Klamla, because you have to respect the lady office, you know. And I had no problem working with any government, whoever they are, because whoever they are, I had to give them that respect. But they will be there, put themselves there. They were voted in there. So this thing with Calypsonian Fever, they had to sing a set of song against Kamla and they reject she. I don't go for that. They wouldn't hear me singing them kind of. I wouldn't sing no song beginning them up as Coco say, playing a what you call a licky licky African. I wouldn't sing that kind of stuff, but I will give them the respect. And I will give them the respect because, you know, they deserving of it.
Yeah.
I mean, no, as they say, you enter in this election, you say, Kamala, promise. But the knowledge is there is a different thing between winning an election and governance.
Yes.
Kamala has every right to say whatever she wishes, make whatever promise she needs to make to win an election. If the people are, you know, believe it and want to vote for it, they have every right to. You can't vex with them, you know. You know, so when it comes into governance now,
is that a different story?
And with your people, which I see, the trouble in kind of politics, because switch back just now. They trying to some of the perks and all them kind of thing. So we into some interesting times in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm watching patiently. I'm not saying I wouldn't sing a politics. Ambition's sake is what run the Indian man from the tent, and he used to come to the tent when I was in Spectacular, and I mean come in droves and sit down and enjoy Kaiso. But now they ain't coming to the tent because they want to listen to people saying Kamala this and Pandit that and this one. I write a song named Baz and Pandit sit down in the front seat and laugh at every verse because of how it was written. You know, but to go survive, there's one thing I know, extempo will survive.
Sage, I want to pose a very, I wouldn't say it's a contentious question, but in Grenada, I know that they're debating the length of time on stage for Calypso. In Trinidad, you go on stage and you sing for 8 minutes, right? Do you think that 8 minutes is justified, or because of how things are now changing, radio stations and airplay, do you think that the Calypso probably needs to shorten that time on stage? But I know right now you have 8 minutes. What do you think?
8 minutes. Because what you find, some singers want to go on long. There's a young singer who actually won the crown. But because she stayed on stage too long and they took away points from her for that, she ended up losing that victory and somebody else won the crown. I ain't calling name because it's about 4 or 5 years ago. I ain't calling name. So the 8 minutes just prevent what we call, I find some of the Calypsonians these days, especially some of the younger ones, they over-present. Oh Lord, there's a whole West Village string band, some of which has nothing to do with the Calypso at all. One of the best presentations I saw in Calypso was Black Stalin when he sang Sundar, which I regarded as a weak Calypso, but because of Stalin's charisma and his performance ability, Stalin was able to ride that weak song straight, and well, it was dealing with racial harmony and thing, straight into the Calypso monarch, and in the end of his Calypso. So Napupu had a Calypso, all Nani and Nana, where he's saying, me Nani riding bicycle and me Nana ringing bell. And Nani and Nana come on that Savannah stage riding a bicycle, and Nani ringing the bell and saying, and the whole place was in uproar because of that presentation, which enhanced the song. But some of them presentations will really enhance the song. And that's why I just lose points for not presenting my song the way some of them boys just do it, and the way judges want them to do it, and the way I think Makandal Daga, God bless his soul, advised them to do it. Because half of the popular Calypsonians today, half of them come up under NJAC. So we feel they are young Calypsonians. Them people cut their teeth in NJAC competitions and things, then they are very, very good. So when they get a good song, they struggle to beat.
Yeah. You know, Val, that Calypso Monarch competition you're talking about, I've always regarded that as the best Dimash ever, the best competition ever, I always felt that Coco won the crown that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the best, I thought the most intense Calypso final, and I know we train a bit, was between Stalin and Rudder. Stalin and Rudder. That year.
That when
Stalin sang Bondem.
Actually, yeah.
No, when Rudder sang Dedication and Calypso Music, and Stalin sang Mr. Panmaker and Bondem.
But
Panmaker and Bondem.
I don't know.
Panmaker won that song. Bondem is Bondem will go down in history as a song that the audience and the chorus won for Stalin.
I totally agree. I totally agree, because to me, from the time Bondem came out, I think that was
because he had absolutely no voice.
That was judged early.
But it was more than that. It was, I think it was the separation of, rather as a kind of the new kid on the block, that phenomenon. And a kind of traditional grouping saying, no, Stalin is we boy. And he didn't have to sing. It had nothing to do with God's voice. It had nothing to do with God's voice.
He had Narelle and the Narelle on stage with him playing the pan and thing. Stalin was to capture the audience. It's the same way when Rudder won it, and Gypsy was very aggrieved because Rudder sang singing Rambam Dang 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 Dang. But when Rudder walk on that stage and tell everybody on your face the east, and he started to play tribute to Rudolph Charles, Rudder take that crown.
Interestingly, when Rudder won that crown,
before you sit on the stage,
I was listening to the March on the radio and I was walking. I don't remember where I came from, but I was walking home. I had a little radio and I was listening to the match, and when I heard Rudder, younger, I said, but he win the crown. just like that. Yeah. I didn't even know at the time. I didn't even understand, all the intricacies of adjudicating and things like that. But I heard the songs, and I just found that Rudder won the monarch that year. Just like that. Yeah.
One of the most beautiful lines of Calypso ever said about the steel pan. Rudder said, "Out of a muddy pond, 10,000 bloom."
Yeah. And what as Ken Ranchan would have said, Stalin sang, his tribute to Pan also.
Used to fight one another.
Yeah,
this Pan when East Side attack Highlanders, but Kitchener had it wrong. Yeah? East Side did not attack Highlanders. The East Side Pan player went with his partner, Bertie Marshall, right? Highlanders. And when them Highlanders fellas see him, they say, what is East Side man doing here, man? They start to beat him. So when the East Side men hear that, then they attack Highlanders. But Kitchener say he go beat them. But Shoppers, let me ask. I say Shoppers. Stage, let me ask. Walking the steel bad side, and nobody here doing Kitchener nothing.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Sage. Over the years, let me ask you this. Over the years, we've seen the Calypso tents, and we asked that to, a lot of the Calypsonians to come on the program. We've seen the numbers in the Calypso tents continue to dwindle. Even at the Calypso competition, the crowds dwindle. I mean, if Skinner Park this year, compared to years gone by, the numbers have dropped significantly. What do you think, in your opinion, what do you think is responsible for that? I mean,
this year was the largest audience I've ever seen at Skinner Park, and I tell you, I was there on the stage over the past 3 years. I did RG Stories, my tribute to John Agitation. I did Stone, and I did this one this year, Tits. The audience is huge because Skinner Park is more than a Calypso show. Skinner Park is community, it's family, it's old friends, it's lovers of the culture too. I just tell people, I could go Skinner Park with no food, no drink, with nothing. And by the time 5 o'clock in the evening, man, I'm full, have a few beers, and I meet all my old South partners and so on, and we good. Because Skinner Park is more than a Calypso show, and there's the greatness of Skinner Park. And I think there's no better place to have that Calypso show. And this year, it was one of the best shows, the best patronized shows that Tuco had. I don't go into Tuco business how much money they make and what they think and how much, but I believe that Tuco profited handsomely from Skinner Park. And I always say maybe the way the tents are going, we might have 1 or 2 tents, and then have a big bullpen and pick other people for Skinner Park, pick 50 people also for Skinner Park, and pick 20 for the grandstand. I don't know how it will go, but everything changed. The one thing constant in life is change. And we are seeing some changes in the Calypso, which is why Tuco tried to rebrand themselves this year, and they were fairly successful at it because you find Addison was a beautiful space. We had some quite good attendances, and especially Judges Night, for the extempo night, we had good attendances. Even throughout the season, because of the caliber performance we had the young fellas like Young Brother, who was one of the most popular new faces now. We had Ricky Jai came back into Calypso.
Yes.
I think he was composer, one of our better composers. I think it's Kurt Allen, I believe, right? He's song. I hope I don't mind it talking your business, but he's not the only one who doesn't do other people's song or who Kurt wrote for. We had Corinne Ashe, we had Dwayne O'Connor's son doing a beautiful song, he taking Steelman to the world, and he's a little performer here. We had Chucky, we had quite a few great people. We even had Bonnie B, another great Calypsonian, come and make a little cameo with us. We had Valentino, we had Mudada, we had Posa's son, who's a good Calypsonian too, so the tradition continuing. So, the art form continuing, the art form is establishing its legacy. That legacy has been established already, but we're aiming at a kind of continuity of that legacy. I always just tell people, you have a whole year to compose a song, write a good song. You have heard what a good song is. You heard Rhoda, you heard Stalin, you heard Relator, you heard Valentino, you heard Singing Sandra, you heard some of the stalwarts of the art, and I could go back to Sparrow and Kitchener. You know what a good song sounds like, how it should be constructed. You know how to get an anchor in a tent. Some people will say anchor does carry on the show too long, but anchor is a sort of approval. I went to Winston DeVille, Joker. God bless his soul. And I say, Joker, how do you get an anchor in a tent? He said, what? But it must be truth well told. You can't just come and say the car black. You have to say it in a kind of way. You have to bowl a doosra, come around the curve, and say it in a way that is appealing to you, appealing to your audience, and appealing to the judges. A calypso is a difficult song to sing because from your first verse you must establish a rapport, an impact with that audience. I just tell people that Calypso is an essay. It had the same literary devices, let me put it that way, as an essay. Production. You must have a topic that you're singing on. You have to bring your lyrics strong. You have to render. Your key has to be right. You know, a fella sang a song like that, you know. His name was Fearless. I was singing for
Fearless.
Yeah.
The 5 rules. Like
long before I came a big man, it was always my ambition to be a calypsonian. But since I jumped in the ring, every night I'm dreaming I'm the calypso king. Well, I just always do my best to come up good, just like the rest, to be there for the final test. But since I can't come up so, don't feel that I don't know the 5 rules of calypso. Hear them. Number 1, you got to the topic that you're singing on. Number 2, you got to bring your lyrics strong. Number 3, of course it is your rendition, but still you ain't a true calypsonian. And for whom this topic really concerns, you have 2 more important rules to learn. Number 4, it is your key of orchestration. And number 5, stage presentation. Them rules are changed.
Yes.
Good Kaiso Fearless sing, but even up to today, it is quite relevant. When I'm in school and doing calypso, I just use it.
Yeah, it is.
To demonstrate and illustrate the art.
Right.
Go from there, we can topic. What topic are you singing about? Say, boy, I have a topic. Now, when you get that topic now, you will find topic. A lot of people who want to take UNC and power and which is just a beaten topic. But go ahead, if you want easy laugh and quick laugh, you could take it. Right? But other people search for the topics. Sometimes your topic hits you, boom! Right? And that way you will write by inspiration. Some others will go to a songwriter and say, I want to sing a song on Trump and his tariffs. And the songwriter will try to write a song that is composed by perspiration. Because he had to sweat together to think about when an inspiration will hit you, boom. So that's why you find somebody songs are criticized by being kind of similar. Because something the Master final this year, I think there were 4 songs by one composer. I ain't calling them, but I believe that is a fact in that final. 4 songs by one composer. Calypso is always a singing art. I always say that my partner, Squeezy Rankin, he had one of the great calypsos where my boy was a good boy. Mama, good son, just get shut down. You know that one, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
The voice, in my view, didn't do justice to it. I say, boy, if some one of them singers had that song, they would have killed people with it. But he did well. He reached the master and so on. But he could have been right up there with the young brother who has a better voice and good diction and good use of stage. Young brother was the surprise revelation at Carnival this 2025 here. Because I had all thought he did win the monarch when he finished with that song, We Will Rise. Just picked the boy.
Right. So Sage, hold on, Sage, hold on. Sage, hold on a second. Hold on, Sage. We need to take a short break and come back. So don't go anywhere. We're taking a very short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us, folks. Right. Kaiso Talk, come back in just a moment.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union introduces its new digital platform, managing your finances at any time from anywhere.
As a part-time student, balancing work and studies can be a real challenge. But with GCCU's digital app, these worries are no more. My parents can now remotely transfer funds to my account and I can check my balance at any time, giving me the freedom to achieve my goals.
My days can be long and tedious. With this app, I can ensure my loan is paid on time, transfer funds to someone else's account, and check my balances. I don't have to rush to do business during my lunch hour or after work anymore.
With this app, I can request checks to pay my suppliers, letters for my business transactions. I don't have to leave my farm to go stand in line.
The Grenville Credit Union digital platform. It's convenient and secure banking right at your fingertips. Download the app today from the Play Store or App Store or call 442-8602, 459-4325 or 416-8467 for further information.
Attention all divers, snorkelers and underwater enthusiasts. Effective May 15th, 2025, all visitors to the renowned Mullinaire Underwater Sculpture Park will be required to pay a small fee of US $3.50 or EC $10 per person. These fees are essential to support the ongoing maintenance and repairs of the sculptures, as well as the development of new features to ensure the park remains a world-class attraction. Payment can be made through the Grenada Tourism Authority's online payment portal, available on the Pure Grenada website, www.puregrenada.com. We thank you for your support in enhancing this extraordinary underwater product. This announcement is brought to you by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, dedicated to protecting and conserving Grenada's resources for the enjoyment of all.
The new Grenville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Kaiso Talk, and of course, with us this evening, Mr. Philip Murray, the Black Sage, the reigning extempo king in Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, Val is with us, and wow, loads of information and Kaiso Talk happening tonight. Val, I know you wanted to be able to get a couple of questions at Sage, so you can go at him right now.
Yeah, I think we ended with the break on a nice note. He was talking about Squeezy and which introduced the freestylers.
Yeah.
So that freestyle, help me, Black Sage here, freestyle versus extempo. And is extempo securing its skin to accommodate the freestylers? Tell me.
Well, with regards to freestyle, I had to credit Mark John, the contender, who realized it as extempo is composing spontaneously. Freestyle is the same thing. Because you only believe Bunji Garland came on extempo with us already. Fayan Lyons came on an extempo stage with us in St. James already. And when I think about it, this contender go to P. Bunji said, that is all right, man, that's on the house. So everybody's at the scenarios we might believe. But we saw freestyle as a way of bringing the youth into the team. And at first, I think Squeezy Rankin himself won it. You know, and what we are getting now is a better caliber of artists. We have Preedy winning it this year, and he was fighting against Orlando Octave, who gave an excellent account of himself. And we had people like Gary Ranks and quite a few other people, fairly well-noted artists now coming in the freestyle. As I said, the extempo and freestyle final was sold out because you had more young people coming in to hear the freestyle thing. We are still fine-tuning it. You know, we had them singing for 2.5 minutes, but now we might have them singing for 1 minute each, 1 minute each. Just like we do in example of verse for verse, verse for verse. We get the music tighter, you know. But all in all, the freestyle has taken off. And I think both Squeezy Rankin, Myron B was the first champion. Myron shocked me that year when he went on that stage and freestyle. Gypsy said he could freeze. Well, you know, Gypsy, anything musically and extempo, why is he in that? He never went, but he in that. You know.
Yeah, but the additional question, Sage, is that is extempo securing its skin to accommodate the
freestyle,
the barrage of young people who are stepping into that freestyle space, or would extempo lose potential artists because of freestyle? How do you see that?
No, the thing with extempo is, one or two young people there, but with extempo, read. If you want to read, at least you have to be up around with things. You have to watch your news. You have to watch CNN and all these things if you need it. But if you read, you're good. You read the Express, your Guardian, your Newsday. You could read that Time and a Newsweek as well. Freestyle, you don't need that sort of, let me put it this way, this sort of educational input. Because freestyle is from the ghetto. Example is not, I mean, it's from our Calypsonian and so on. But freestyle is more from the streets. The original extempo singer, he used to dress in suit, man.
Right.
You wouldn't like to see Lion and Beginner and them boys when they dress to sing extempo. You wear in three-piece suit, and we still try to keep up that tradition. You go find an extempo, finally seeing Lingo well dressed in a three-piece. I go be in my suit. Dion Diaz go be in his suit. Gypsy will be dressed better than he, so he come in his suit too. But freestyle, a man could put on jeans and a jacket and a shoot and come on stage and do it thing, because freestyle is from the streets. It's more roots. Extempo, we have that sort of tradition to upkeep. We have to have a better use of vocabulary. We have to have a better knowledge of topic. Yes, a topic was one of the first rules of Calypso. Because when you dip your hand in that hat, you don't know what you're going to
Okay.
All right. The next question, Sage, is that a lot of people know you mainly as an extempo artist, but you also sing Calypso. How does the extemporing ability help with your creation of Calypso? And how do you balance that?
Well, I learned to compose Calypso. At least I became better at composing Calypso because one, also have extempo, and two, I call any name I wish you hear me, because of a Calypsonian called Wayne Hade, the Watchman.
The Watchman.
Watchman was a Calypsonian, used to get 9 and 10 and going the 10th night. And guess why he lego his secret on an interview. And I could lego his secret on this interview right here now. Watchman composed from the punchline, come up. I just do the same thing. I just give your Calypso more impact. Extempo, if you're doing this humanity melody, you have 8 lines, right? Which is 4 couplets. You might get a nice couplet earlier, but you can't use that there yet because that is a good punchline. That's to make the people laugh and to make your opponent cringe. So you save that punchline and you could dissemble along the way. Yeah, man, you're only talking nonsense, and then you hit him with the punchline. So it's the same thing with Calypso. I won't start writing, from on top there and coming down. I will get my punchline down here, and I will build a punchline is the foundation of my verse. And I also learned that from extempo as well. Your punchline is the heart of the matter. And I will build coming up from that punchline. I wouldn't do it every time. But that is my secret at singing a song with what you call punch, with impact, with your audience. Because you had a punchline there, and you have dissemble coming down the line there, and you throw that punchline on them, so it must have an effect. That's why you might get an encore. That's why you might get a laugh. You don't have to sing about Kamla and sing about Pathetic to get a laugh or an encore. I call that a cheap laugh. You have to be human, serious business. And a Calypso, it could be educational or it could be entertaining. Extempo is entertaining because of the punchlines in it. I mean, when Gypsy hit you a lash in extempo, so you just really feel to sing through the floor. So he hit you and you the audience up. You know, you had to think of something to hit him back with. And you could only hit with a good punchline. The line had to have punch. Otherwise, he go wipe the floor with you.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be sharp one time.
Yes, it's imperative.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You be sharp, and you also in extempo. You have to be a good listener. You have to listen to what he says. Now we have learned a lot from Gypsy, and we could compete with him. And even quite a few of us have won, beaten him in finals. Myron B, Big B. I think Lingo did it once. Why? Because we learn from him. We know what he does. You know what he does do? He does listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in your line, I'm telling the secret, so I might as well tell it, let them know and got better. Somewhere in the 8 lines, he will make a mistake. He might make a little slip up. He might say something, and you might say, and you get a line where you don't spell out the line, so you quick, you save that line for down the last couplet, which is your last 2 lines. And that way you could get a punch and you could shake him up a little bit, and you know, that you had to phase him, and that's how you did it. Punchline in extempo, punchline in calypso.
So Sage, let me put you to the test now. I want you to give me an extempo. The topic is why Rowley lose the election. Let me hear you.
Well, I can understand, but I feel I know why Rowley lose the election. People upset because of the 47% he gets. And I'm very sure he takes 47 giving public slogans for. And why he lose the election, it is a back. Come, let's say, no more property tax. And I mean that basically that's why he lost the election.
I thought it was Stuart. What was the appointment as Stuart?
I wouldn't know that. And the property tax. Fine.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere in the world you go, you pay property tax. But it's at $1,000 you had to pay. And then we can say all that in example, you know, so what they are taxing there is industry. They're taxing your industry. Because when you build a 5-bedroom house with 2 toilets, you have to pay more tax, which you have live in a shack. If you understand, you know the direct extension of it.
Since you're on the floor with your quattro, PNM has now appointed Penny. What is your take? How do we extend on this new leader of the PNM?
Well, it gave me the greatest pleasure. Penny is opposition leader. One of the women who now standing tall in the PNM. Plenty people say she should have beat Stuart Young just the other day. If she did beat Stuart Young, please don't be confused. PNM people would have voted and they won't lose. What I have to say is not Penny alone. She's not the only woman sitting on the throne. You know we have Christine Kangaroo. She is a female president too. And we have Tanti Kamla as we female prime minister. Dennis Plummer said it, of course. It's Dennis Plummer who say woman is boss.
Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Very nice.
Sage can this art form of extempo be taught to younger ones, children mainly, teenagers in school? Can it be taught?
People and do workshops. I do workshops in school, and you can show them the mechanics of composition. I go to school on the Cayman Islands and do this in schools. I go into Tobago, I send a proposal to the Ministry of Education in Trinidad. I even get a response. As I always say, extempo or calypso, It's not a Viking thing. Same literary devices you use in a calypso, in a essay, you could use in a calypso. When Gypsy sang, Captain, the ship is sinking, he was making an analogy, right? He was talking about the ship of state. When Sparrow sang, London Bridge is breaking down, right? He was talking about the whole deterioration of English civilization and culture. When Penguin come home, when Papa Selwyn come home, and he see the big size 13 or 14 slipper under his bed, and he see other slipper doing under my bed, that is symbolism. Penguin never said that the lady was being unfaithful or anything. All he said, the fella saying, what that slipper doing under the bed. And we, as they say long time, kill them dead is the vice in your own head. His smut is in our head. And we know what he means, that slipper under the bed. When the Trinidad start sailing, Trinidad is a boat sailing over the earth, I go sail on it.
Sage, Penguin didn't say it was a 13 or 14 size slipper, you know.
He just asked the question. Yes, he said, no, but same thing, fam. That's what you have in mind. What you have in here.
But that was what a Penguin did, because humor is one of the hardest characters to compose, eh? That's why fellas like funny is not too well these days. Spoiler, Trinidad, well, Spoiler won a monarch already when he sing big sense out of nonsense. Funny has never won a monarch, and these are fellas who is real. We used to mash up a tent every night. I see real mash up spectacular with some of them, with somebody song. Funny have one of the best choruses in Calypso, Lord Funny. When he sang Time Does Fly. Day before yesterday was yesterday. Yesterday was yesterday. Today go be tomorrow, yesterday. Tomorrow, today go be yesterday. Day after tomorrow go be yesterday. I wonder where he get that from, boy. Yes, I originally the song Time Does Fly. That is one of the greatest choruses in Calypso. When it comes to verse in Calypso now, I just get that one grudgingly to David Rudder in the hammer on a silver chariot riding to the sun, leaving fire in its wake, spirits on the run. As we turn around that day, I hear Sister Sheila say, oh, in the heaven she see a sign. She see the hammer and he doing fine. Same time thunder roll, she ball out, you see, he done started tune up on already. I say that is verse. In fact, I said, is that verse when it become?
No, that's a classic. That is a classic. That's a classic. Yeah. One of my favorite Rudder lines though has to do with the that song Under the Crescent Moon. The dogs were barking. Strange songs in the night. I mean that to me is one of Rudder's. I think he outdid himself. That time.
Now Trini know why it's Uzi diplomacy.
The Crescent Moon. Yeah. Definitely.
Party. You know, that could be the only thing in the political thing, we have a unity still. You know, the greatest thing about Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday, the 20th of April, is guess what? Everybody going to work same way, cool as ever, no bacchanal, no lacquer, PNM calmly walk out of the office. Personally, I feel they wanted to lose. This was a good election to lose. Because whoever come in there had to work real hard. I believe, Auntie Kamala capable. They go try their best. I see she making some nice moves, and I believe we could get a solution from Guyana. If Guyana give oil to I don't know what kind of deal they signed with ExxonMobil, but if they give oil to the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery, we could make it viable before the oil come in from Riley.
But she iron but Sage she iron we oil too. Auntie Kamala she iron our oil too, you know. You know that, right?
What's that?
Grenada's oil.
I hear.
Yeah, Auntie Kamala iron Grenada's oil too.
The Iron Grenada have gas.
Yeah, well, all that.
The Iron Grenada have gas. But they say that it is not available sufficient quantities, we don't know. Because there's a lot of things they're not telling us. But they know the iron Grenada gas to make it viable. And we have seen nothing wrong with Barbados. Has come quite into bigger waters and catch the flying fish. And again, I don't see nothing wrong with that either. Because we is one Caribbean. Me and Grenada could have
maritime borders.
Situation.
We have maritime.
Yeah. The borders. Definitely. Yeah.
A lot of the Trinidadians who built this land were from Grenada. Quite a few. But
Sage, I see you have a preference for anti-cams and so on. But one of the big topics, and it is affecting. Yeah, you seem to like anti-cams, you know. One of the major issues, and it is affecting the attendance at Calypso tent, is crime. On previous iterations of this program, people have been voicing that. So that how do you see that being solved so that people, especially those older ones who have stayed away from the Calypso tent, would feel secure enough to come back? Do you think that we can put a handle on the crime situation? Or what can you do as Calypsonian to maybe make people feel better that some kind of solution is close at hand?
I think we probably lost him. But Val, we have a call on the line. Let's go to the telephone. We have a caller. Let's see who's with us. Kaiso Talk. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, I'd like to sing a calypso for Backstage.
All right, go ahead, no problem.
Invader Steel Orchestra went on a tour to New Germany, and there we had an opportunity to meet a Soviet woman in the Munich city, and she told us how she loves to hear the band, and it will be a great pleasure if we can sell her one man. But before one man could understand my pants, she held it in her hand, offering me suddenly and way for my dinner pan. You hear me? She get down on her knees and she begging me, please, don't refuse it. Brother, please accept it. I'm going to hold it on. I tell you, such an instrument can play in the North Pole region. No way, out there to Colo. It belongs to the Caribbean, not the Soviet Union. It's the way you're going, it's my band. Put it down. She started explaining, I'm a musician by profession, and I'm working in this country for the KGB. And my mission is to invade every new invention, positing everything I see, especially from foreign countries. I want to tell me they need it, I put out my best to acquire it. I will pay any price for it, because I know the desire is. You hear me? So they placed me here in New Germany to look for a path. So I'm going to hold to this fund, and I'm offering 9 million. I tell you, such an instrument can't play in the North Pole region. No way. Out there too cold, woman. It belongs to the Caribbean, not the Soviet Union. Yes. Where you're going with my pan, I put it down. I give you an invitation to come down to CARICOM to check out the cultural ministry and the pan industry. Then send a pan scientist to research your hemisphere. No, based on his analysis, he will create a pan for you to suit your climate to do. And that's how you to satisfy you. You hear me? But the woman holding on, you don't want to let go the pan. You can see she's a real Russian, and she offering 10 million. Children can play in the
all right, well, caller, we kind of ran out of time. I'm sorry we can't take the entire Kaiso, but we out of time. But thank you for that. We have that recorded, and you might have to go to the studio and do something with that. Boy,
I didn't hear everything, but I know.
But
you got a calypso.
Yeah, and it's actually singing quite good. The story is quite good. It's about somebody who wants to take pan to the Soviet Union, but he's saying it's too cold up there, so you have to leave the pan down in the Caribbean kind of thing.
All right.
So quite good. Yeah.
We got
we lost. We lost stage
because there's inclemency. There's a lot of rain.
Okay.
Where he is in the west. So he got cut off.
Yeah,
you know?
But we I mean, it's kind of timely in a sense because we almost out of time, you know. But very interesting. Boy, it's amazing how much information the Kaisonian has. You know what I mean? And it's really, really wonderful. It was wonderful having Sage on, and I hope we have to do something about Sage though.
Of course.
We have something about it. Definitely. We have something about that. But Val, I mean, again, it was a pleasure as always, and we're looking forward to our next program. So, hey, man, thanks again. Any closing words?
Well, we had an extempo artist. For the first time, we had live music.
Yes.
Which is great.
Uh-huh.
You know, maybe it's something we need to look at. We're talking Kaiso, but we talk without actually introducing it, but I guess if they bring an instrument on the set and play, then it's different from playing the music itself.
Added value, man. Yes, definitely.
So
definitely.
It's definitely was a pleasure to hear Sage on stage and extemporing and making his apology through song.
Exactly.
Started.
Fantastic.
And then filling us
in
with
between,
some nice bits. The fearless 5 rules of calypso and other things. So it was a well spent evening.
Yes.
Appreciate Steve being on.
Indeed.
And I definitely will communicate with him.
Yes, definitely. We need to do that. Yeah. So thanks again, folks, for staying with us. That last Kaiso, and thank you very much for your rendition there. And of course, we look forward to hearing from you again. To all our listeners, thank you so much, and join us again for another Kaiso Talk. All the best, and do have a good night.